Hey, music lovers. Welcome to WDWNT Records, where we're turning the Disney Parks event business upside down. Just so you know what's rockin' here, we're celebrating the music and memories of Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith during a once-in-a-lifetime event that's speeding your way February 28th. Former Disney Imagineers who cleared the freeway for this Hollywood Studios thrill ride will be sharing stories you've never heard before. And given that many of them include Aerosmith, maybe some you never should. You can watch the full event online live or on demand after airing for just $15, most of which will benefit Give Kids the World Village and their 40th anniversary celebration. Or you can slam on the gas, grab some backstage passes, and join us in Orlando for a day of panels and presentations, sharing behind-the-scenes stories, never-before-seen photos and artwork, and even an autograph signing with the WDI artists who composed this classic. Plus, get your hands on an exclusive limited edition pin made for our event gift.
Wait a minute, I love that idea.
So get in your Super Stretch limo and take a ride to rockinfarewell.com for tickets and more information. Well, I think that about covers it. That's the business, and the fun's just ahead. Rock on. This is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to make sure you never miss the latest from the Disney theme parks all around the world. Coming up, the news for February 12th, 2026. But real quick, I want to mention the Sweet Emotional Farewell Tour, a tribute to Rock and Roller Coaster. We are just days away. You can stream this live at home and on demand after it happens for just $15. And that $15, whatever we don't spend to make the event happen, the remaining proceeds are used to give Kids the World and their 40th anniversary celebration. So make sure you are a part of this. We're going to have several Imagineers who made this attraction happen that will be a part of it, sharing stories you've never heard before. And given that Aerosmith was involved, stories maybe you never should have heard. So I think it's going to be a great time. If you can join us in person, we do have in-person tickets left, including our evening with Jerry Rees. That's the first time we've had that former Imagineer with us. He's going to talk Galactic Star Cruiser, the Dinosaur pre-show, Rock and Roller Coaster, Alien Encounter, and so much more. We have separate tickets for that if you just want to come to that on Friday, February 27th. And of course, we have tickets for the whole day on February 28th, which includes the panels and presentations, the meet and greet event with autograph signing. And there is a very special event gift, a pin, an exclusive limited edition pin that's part of that all as well. So get more information at rockinfarewell.com. That's where you can get your tickets and details. We hope, whether virtually or in person, you'll be a part of our Rock and Roller Coaster farewell event. Walt Disney World's premium Lightning Lane Premier Pass has sold out for a week ahead of Valentine's Day and President's Day weekend. The Lightning Lane Premier Pass for Magic Kingdom has sold out from February 12th all the way through the 18th. The Lightning Lane Multi-Pass and both Lightning Lane Single Passes for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Tron Light Cycle Run are still available throughout the week. The Lightning Lane Premier Pass is largely available at EPCOT for next week. However, the pass has sold out for February 16th, which is President's Day. The other days have quite varying pricing, anywhere from $169 all the way up to $249. Hollywood Studios has even less availability than EPCOT. The Lightning Lane Premier Pass is sold out for February 13th through the 15th. But interestingly, that does not include President's Day itself. But again, the prices vary anywhere from $289 all the way up to $339 for some of those days. As of recording, Animal Kingdom has full Lightning Lane Premier Pass availability for the rest of the month. Those prices will vary between $129 and $180, or actually $199, excuse me. But yeah, I think they were guests from overseas who watched the show or read our website. I don't remember where they messaged us, but I got several messages this week from folks that were like, why is everything sold out? And I'm like, well, it's an American holiday. I always feel like, I'll never forget my second trip to Japan. We ended up there on a Japanese holiday, and I didn't know that the place was slammed. And it's always sad when, always got to do your research, kids. I'm guilty of it. I'm sure you've been guilty of it at some point, but it's always good to do your research when you go to a foreign country, what the holidays are, because that will determine crowd levels at your favorite tourist destination. And if you're watching this, I'm sure your favorite tourist destinations are theme parks. So keep that in mind. Painting of Cinderella Castle at the Magic Kingdom has moved to some of the icon's tallest towers. Disney is restoring the castle's classic colors after it spent 5 years with a 50th anniversary color scheme. When approaching the castle, there are no obvious color differences. Most of the painting so far has been on the back and east sides. We did spot some crew members working on the front, though. They were on the ramparts near the clock. They may have been painting or performing other refurbishment work in this area. We couldn't tell. And around the back of the castle, there are fresh spots of gray paint. The top half of the castle, currently pink, is being repainted light gray, and many trims that were previously gold are now gray once more. These stand out against those elements that remain golden. Notice the tower on the right with half of its gold trim remaining while half has been painted gray. The second and third tallest towers have gray railings and trims, and walls near the center of the castle are now also gray. At least for now, gold remains on decorative elements of the railings. The second tallest tower has gray right under its blue roof, and the royal blue roofing is also expected to be repainted a lighter blue. It appears the tallest tower hasn't been touched just yet. The gray is starting to inch towards the front of the castle. Crews haven't quite finished the wall in the center. There's still pink around the gray trim, and above the wall there's also some dripping we noticed in our last update. Is it paint? Is it something else? Who knows? The only paintwork visible on the front of the castle is some light gray trim on the east side. But there you go, the work continuing onward to make Cinderella Castle great again. Foundations are growing in the Cars-themed Piston Peak National Park area of Magic Kingdom. The extension of Frontierland replaces the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island. We got another look at the foundational work near Big Thunder Mountain. In the center of the photo you're looking at now is the foundation outlined with wood forms. This area is different than the foundation work in the center of BioReconstruct's aerial photos from last month, which you're looking at now near Big Thunder Mountain, but we believe it is an extension of it. This new section over by the Frontierland Boardwalk, which is open but surrounded by walls and scaffolding, is either another set of wooden forms and rebar or a continuation of the one mentioned that we just mentioned. From our allowed vantage points, we cannot see if they connect. Since our last update, crews have continued to extend the forms heading towards Liberty Square. The area in the foreground already has rebar. Both foundations are most likely part of the same large building seen in the utilities document here, and is the curved building near the bottom of the image. In the Piston Peak National Park fun map, that building appears to be one in the upper center in front of or part of the gray rot work. I think it's in there, but we'll see. It's also possible the foundation work is related to the river that will curve around half of the Cars area in front of the Frontierland Boardwalk, but it seems to be lining up with the ride structure itself. I think this is the beginning of the mountain and the show building. I think that's what we're seeing here, but we'll keep our eyes peeled and see what forms. The Barnstormer at the Magic Kingdom has seen better days. There are scratches, peeled paint, and faded shades throughout the coaster's queue. This cannon, which is out of reach of guests, appears to have some damage on the side of its base. Some of the red painted wood has been stripped away, and much of the weathering on the Barnstormer is intentional, but this is, of course, accidental. This is not damage within theme. The most visible damage is on or around the Wheel of Peril. This prop is in the merge point of the queue between Standby and Lightning Lane, acting as a wall. The wooden wheel and its support structure have scratches and splotches, and there are scuff marks on the wheel itself, and the handles are all worn from guests touching it. The posts holding up the adjacent Wheel of Peril banner have seen more wear and tear. The faux wood extensions have been completely stripped away in some areas, revealing the metal below. And railings throughout the queue have been scratched up quite a bit by guests, mostly at toddler level, but of course we saw some at adult level. Someone else stuck their trash in this split cap for a post. I don't know if that's really a maintenance need for Magic Kingdom. That's just a need for guests to behave. But near the loading area, more wood paint has been worn away from steel beams, and there's further damage to the painted partitions in the load area. One thing that can't be blamed on guests, though, is the significant fading on some of the queue's shades. The tops of the circular shades, which have stars and circles printed on them, are almost completely bleached white from the sun. So all in all, what we're trying to say, the Barnstormer needs a refurbishment. I will say that we noticed some real bad wear on the trains as well. The Barnstormer could use a refurb. Please, let's make it happen. The faded fake rock work outside of Tomorrowland at the Magic Kingdom is finally being repainted, the completion of a project that stalled back in 2023. The rocks at the Tomorrowland entrance framing the bridge were repainted in 2023. The refresh made them a shiny blue-gray, but after the entryway rocks were finished, Disney never repainted the other rocks lining the land, leaving them a dull gray from fading. Almost 3 years later, we're finally seeing progress. Painters were among the rocks on the north side of Tomorrowland near Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe. It looks like they were consulting an image of what the rocks are supposed to look like. The supports of the rocket-like structures nearby had been wrapped in plastic to keep them protected. For reference, here's a wider photo of the rocks from September of 2024, when they were a little bluer, but the rocks near the bridge still stood out significantly. The rocks were first repainted in 2016 when they received the blue-gray hue. Before that, they were a red-brown, kind of like Mars, and that happened when the rockwork was built back in 1994 as part of New Tomorrowland. The painting project may have resumed, we believe, because of the draining of the Magic Kingdom moat. With the moat drained in that area, it is much easier for them, if they want to get on the front side of those rocks and paint, to do so. Just weeks before the start of the EPCOT International Flower and Garden Festival, the character topiaries have begun to arrive. Disney released a list of topiaries and gardens previously, but a few of the topiaries that have arrived weren't in that announcement. Phineas and Ferb are returning but weren't on the list. They're in a flower bed near Communicore Plaza. Behind them is a trio of pink topiary flowers. Near the World Showcase Bridge are Bambi, Flower, and Thumper. They were also missing from Disney's list. Along the Rose Walk between the Imagination Pavilion and World Showcase is Goofy blowing on dandelions. That's returning as well. Topiaries returning this year after absences will include Stitch, Mike Wazowski and Sully, and Lightning McQueen and Mater. We haven't seen those in a while. Walt Disney World Resort has also released a preview of some of the new Orange Bird and Spike the Bee merchandise coming to the festival. This backpack features both the Orange Bird and Spike the Bee in what appears to be the shape of a garden box. It centers the festival logo for the year, with Orange Bird popping out from the top of the backpack and Spike hovering over the logo. The backpack zipper pull has a hanging citrus swirl tag, and the backpack strap is orange with a flower pattern on it. This over-the-shoulder bag is all about Spike the Bee. The front of the bag has a prominent oversized spike head coming out of the front pocket. His arms appear to be holding a jar of honey across the front pocket as well, and the bag has an orange strap. The final item in the preview is a light orange bird hat. This shows an embroidered orange bird face on the front, surrounded by a circular EPCOT Flower and Garden Festival text. Meanwhile, several new and returning magic shots will be available at the festival, including new this year Poppy Seed Prop and Giant Flower Magic Shot. Also new is the Honey Jar Prop and Spike the Bee Magic Shot. It sounds like that matches the merchandise. And a Thumper Topiary Magic Shot is also new. Returning will be the Butterfly Magic Shot, the Isabella, the Orange Bird, the Fairy Wings, the Tiny World, and the Groot Topiary Magic Shot. This year's festival will also include more than 60 character topiaries and over 31 gardens and exhibits throughout the park. Also returning this year is the outdoor kitchens, including brand new dishes as well as the Garden Graze food stroll. You could also follow Spike the Bee across EPCOT and the gardens in the Scavenger Hunt Adventure. Search for character-themed eggs as well, hidden throughout World Showcase during the Egg Extravaganza, and step inside the walk-through butterfly garden filled with dozens of species in every color of the rainbow. The EPCOT International Flower and Garden Festival runs from March 4th to June 1st, 2026. We are not out of Festival of the Arts yet, and last I checked, topiaries and flower beds have gone up almost a full month in advance. I don't think we've ever seen that before. Just a good thing they waited till after that unseasonably cold week in Orlando, because man, maybe we wouldn't have Flower and Garden this year. I mean, they'd still have it, but there'd be no actual flowers or gardens at it. Frozen Ever After is now back. The ride opened a day earlier than originally announced with those updated audio animatronics of Anna, Elsa, and Kristoff with those physical faces instead of the projected ones. The ride closed back on January 26th, but now as of today, it is officially reopened. But we were there for the soft opening on Wednesday, February 11th. You can watch the video of the ride in full on the WDWNT POV channel. It's not this channel. I know it's hard. Just please go to WDWNT POV, subscribe to that channel, and give that video a watch. And while you're here on this channel, though, I gave my honest review of the changes to the attraction, but also an honest review of the attraction at large. This is something we've never done before. I've never done essentially a classic, honest review. The feedback's been very positive so far. It sounds like you guys want more of that, just like pick an attraction every week maybe and give an honest review of it. If that's the case, let me know in the comments. Maybe we can make that happen. But back to Frozen Ever After. In addition to the new animatronic heads, the ride received refreshed show lighting, set touch-ups, updated show control systems, and more. The ride looks great. Obviously, all the feedback is very positive. If you want to hear more about it, Go watch the Honest Review. I talk about it for a full 33 minutes. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, Be Our Guest Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guest and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. Head on over to wwnt.travel and their team will design your next magical vacation, from the Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resorts to Disney Cruise Line to Adventures by Disney and more. And the best part is their concierge services are 100% free. So book today. The construction walls around Muppets Courtyard, soon to be Monstropolis, at Hollywood Studios have been moved forward more as crews strip the bricks from the former MuppetVision 3D facade and also strip the facade of my heart in the process. The construction walls now jut out several feet into the road of Grand Avenue over the sidewalk. There's still plenty of walking space from Star Tours all the way out to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, so don't worry about it. In our last construction update, we noted a few spots where bricks had been removed from the theater facade. Now there are no more bricks across several yards of the facade's main entrance, above the main entrance. Crew members in a lift were working on stripping the bricks from the building while we were there. Concept art for the Monsters, Inc. area indicates the building will still have a brick finish, but it will also get a large marquee. The removal of the brick might be preparation for that. Maybe they just need to repair the facade. We don't really know. Meanwhile, the boxes on top of the theater are being removed. It appears one has been completely taken out and the other was stripped of paneling. It's now just a support frame, which crew members were working on when we visited. As a result of the shifted construction walls, the gelato stand has moved. It was previously in front of the walls, but is now across from the Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater restaurant. A crane now towers over Hollywood Studios. It's being used for the vertical construction of the Monsters, Inc. Door roller coaster. We saw the boom crane from the parking lot, but it's also visible inside the park. It's located where the Door Coaster show building is under construction. Though foundational work has been underway for months, the crane will be necessary to start lifting the larger elements for both the building structure and the coaster itself. The coaster will be Disney's first ever suspended one and first ever vertical lift. So it's something to be excited about, even though, we lost MuppetVision, which is unforgivable. Never letting that go. Nearly 6 months after construction walls went up, there are finally signs of work outside Savi's workshop at Hollywood Studios. There are new supports in the courtyard. We think it's for shade. The construction walls and scrim went up in late August of 2025. We've frequently been checking back, but we have not seen anything happening. Last month, the walls did shift slightly, but now there are tall poles behind the walls lining the open part of the courtyard. The poles are currently a beige color. These are pretty plain, but presumably they will be painted and receive more thematic elements. There are elements at the tops of the poles with holes to attach fabric shades. A central post behind the scrim is decorated and shaped, though unpainted, so it looks like a random steel pole, and it looks less like a random steel pole and more like a Star Wars prop. It may be that strips of fabric will run from this pole to the others around the edge of the space, which are in pairs. That setup would be similar to a shade structure inside the land's marketplace area. Savi's workshop is, of course, where guests can build their own lightsabers, and it remains open during this construction. I have several theories about this. Number one, I haven't done this in a while. I did this many times, don't get me wrong. I have several lightsabers. It's been years now. So are people still waiting outside in the sun? Is that a problem? Or is this some sort of revenue opportunity? Are they going to build a covered stand where you can just buy parts for the lightsabers? That's my question, because I believe there's plenty of us out there who own a lightsaber, and you can, in the past, you've been able to go to the podium and ask to see parts and buy them and add them on. But maybe they want to make that more apparent to people that own one already, that they can buy new pieces. So maybe a stand's going to go in here. And then, of course, there is always the distinct possibility that they're just adding more seating to the land, that they just need more space for people that have grabbed a Ronto wrap or a coffee to sit. That's also possible as well. Let me know in the comments which of those options you think it is. Maybe it's something else. Let me know your theories. The replica of Sue the T-Rex has apparently been marked for demolition. Dino-Sue was part of Dinoland USA, which closed permanently this month and will be replaced by the Tropical Americas. Though Dino-Sue was still standing during our recent update, the dinosaur has large red markings on its legs. Just like a red X on the lamppost in the foreground, these marks usually mean the item will be demolished and not saved. At the very least, it means removal, but I will tell you, it means demo. Objects that will be saved for future use or moved to the Walt Disney Archives are usually marked with something like a tag, or in most cases, the way it usually goes is Walt Disney Imagineering usually the first one to go through when a project is closed and take everything they want to reuse. The archives is usually next, although there is some work between the two to decide who gets what. And sometimes there's a third party involved. In the case of MuppetVision, the Henson Company was involved and they got to take things. That's usually how that works. But a red X means it ain't gonna survive. The original Sue fossils were discovered in 1990 by Sue Hendrickson in the Black Hills of South Dakota. It's still the largest and most complete T-Rex specimen ever found. After a legal battle regarding ownership of the fossils, they were ultimately sold for $8.3 million at auction in October of 1997 to the Field Museum of Natural History with help from Disney Parks and sponsor McDonald's. Some of the preparation of Sue's fossils then took place at Dinoland, USA in the Fossil Preparation Lab, visible to guests from 1998 to 2000. Disney made their own cast of Sue to display, while the original went off to the field, where it can still be seen today. In 2018, the real Sue was repositioned and received previously missing bones, making it a more accurate depiction of the original T-Rex than the Animal Kingdom replica. More replicas of Sue do exist, including one in the field's own research collections. Others travel the world to various museums and exhibits. The copies are created from molds made by Sue's preparators. People are really up in arms about this. Now, I agree. Certainly, there probably was somewhere in the world that would have wanted this. And I don't know the right answer. Should Disney have more actively looked to give it to someone? Could it have been donated to a local? You know, there are museums certainly in the Orlando area and throughout the state of Florida this could have been donated to. I don't completely understand why that's the case, why it's not being donated or saved or any of those things, but it seems like it's not. Typhoon Lagoon will open simultaneously with Blizzard Beach throughout the peak summer season, both remaining through at least September 8th. As previously announced, Typhoon Lagoon will close after February 14th for a seasonal refurbishment, and Blizzard Beach will open on February 15th. We previously only knew the parks would operate at the same time during Cool Kids Summer, which runs May 26th through September 8th. But these dates are also when hotel guests can take advantage of a free water park visit on the day of their check-in. The Disney Water Park Seasonal Pass is still available for use at Blizzard Beach through May 9th of 2026, except for those blackout dates of March 28th to April 5th. The pass is $89 for adults ages 10 and up and $83 for kids ages 3 to 9. In addition to water park admission, it includes mini golf before 4 p.m. on any one of those dates during the pass use window and 20% off same-day rentals of polar patios and beachcomber shacks. D23 has announced an event celebrating the Mexico Pavilion at EPCOT. The event will be on March 11th. On March 11th at 12:45 p.m., D23 Gold members can experience the Mexico Pavilion in a whole new way. As part of the Spirit of Mexico Pavilion, a D23 experience at EPCOT, guests will enjoy a private tequila tasting, savor an exclusive La Cava cocktail, have a curated meal at the San Angel Inn, and take home a selection of specialty gifts. The event takes place at La Hacienda de San Angel restaurant in the Mexico Pavilion. You can see all the details over on our website. Meanwhile, the next D23 Spotlight Series event is all about Adventureland. Tickets go on sale Friday, and all attendees will get a Trader Sam's 15th anniversary pin. D23 Spotlight Series Walt Disney's Enchanted Adventureland will be on March 28th at Disney's Glendale Creative Campus. Tickets include a panel with Walt Disney Archive staff, a Trader Sam's presentation, the limited release pin, custom event credential, and the opportunity to shop at Mickey's of Glendale while you're at Walt Disney Imagineering. The pin features a zombie tiki mug and a barrel tiki mug. The event invites D23 members to cast off on a guided journey tracing Walt Disney's global travels that inspired the beloved attractions of Adventureland. Walt Disney Archive staff will lead guests on a journey to discover how Walt's curiosity and love for travel led to the creation of classic attractions such as the Jungle Cruise and Walt Disney's The Enchanted Tiki Room. Then Imagineer Kyle Barnes will talk about how Adventureland inspired the design and creation of Trader Sam's. There will be an onstage Trader Sam's mixology demonstration as well. Members can choose from shopping first or panel first ticket options. The full schedule available on our website, but the tickets are the same price regardless of the itinerary. They're $59 plus $3 processing for gold members, or $69 plus $3 processing for general members. Members can reserve a ticket for themselves and up to one guest. Tickets go on sale again February 13th at 10 a.m. Pacific time for gold members, 11 a.m. Pacific time for general members. You can purchase at d23.com. Disney has filed a patent application that could revolutionize ride systems. It describes an articulating boom arm that could move a ride vehicle up and down and side to side on a ride path. The patent application was filed on July 24th of 2024 and published just on January 29th of 2026 by inventors Derek Lee Howard, Gaku Sato, and Edward Allen Namath on behalf of Disney Enterprises. Simply called Ride System Having an Articulating Arm. In layman's terms, it's a long arm with a counterweight attached to a ride vehicle. The arm could move the vehicle around as needed to simulate jumps, bumps, and even steering based on guest interaction. Guests could turn a wheel, push a button, or pull a lever. Guests could even direct their vehicle to a second ride path. The application describes up to 4 different ride paths. The system could allow vehicles to span real gaps in the floor. The illustrations depict a boat in water, a car, and a motorcycle type vehicle. The system isn't limited to these vehicles, of course. It could work with almost anything. The system is unique, but obviously there are some aspects reminiscent of existing rides, such as those that use KUKA arm technology, like Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey and Islands of Adventure, and across the world that's been replicated everywhere. And also the upcoming Stark Flight Lab attraction at DCA will use something that looks like a KUKA arm. I think it's a Disney original creation, but it looks an awful lot like a KUKA arm. This is, of course, just an application, not an approved patent, and if even technology described in a finalized patent does not always see the light of day in a Disney theme park, but you never know. I will say this looks pretty cool, and the sky is the limit for what this could be if it ever gets used. Real quick, I want to mention Carousel of Products at carouselofproducts.com. Of course, our Magnet of the Month series continues on. If you subscribe right now, you're going to get the February. I had to think what month it was, kids, because my life is a disaster. The February Magnet of the Month is going to be Ernest the Dude from the Country Bear Jamboree. This is specifically, though, the Country Bear Vacation Hoedown, which is celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. So there he is. There's also an homage to Eric's favorite, Spike the Bee, on there as well. So if you subscribe now through the end of the month, this is the magnet you're beginning with. But of course, you can go back when you order and add on any past magnets we still have in stock. I will say some have sold out. I know Dr. Seeker and Dr. Marsh are long sold out. If you don't want to subscribe to the monthly magnet program, we do have an individual magnet for sale. It celebrates the new CEO. There he is. The new CEO magnet is available as an individual purchase, carouselofproducts.com. Speaking of individual purchases and also monthly purchases, our Pin of the Month program is still the Rock and Roller Coaster pin until the 15th, and we have now added on the monthly payment option. So you could either subscribe for the whole year, which does have an added discount, or you can pay monthly and get your pin monthly. All these items and more at carouselofproducts.com. Work continues at the Disneyland Resort's Fantasyland Theater in preparation for the new Bluey stage show, Bluey's Best Day Ever. On our visit to the Disneyland Resort earlier this week, we noticed new changes to the theater stage. The theater has been closed since January in preparation. New striped partition walls block guests from approaching the stage, while new tall thematic walls covered with dark green scrim were installed on the stage. The other side of the stage has the same walls covered in dark green scrim. The uncovered parts, though, reveal light blue walls with scalloped edges, possibly to represent shrubbery or clouds for the Bluey stage show. Crew members were previously spotted working on the stage itself, but no thematic elements were added at that time. Beginning March 22nd and continuing throughout the year, Bluey's Best Day Ever will transform the Fantasyland Theater into the grounds of Bluey's School, where guests can join the fun of Bluey's Best Day Ever. And throughout the day, Bluey and her sister Bingo will appear live on stage, joining a troupe of comedic actors and musicians. And guests can step into the fair at Bluey's School with the Grannies, Chattermax, Unicourse, and delight in themed favorite foods at the Troubadour Tavern. Crews continue to add the Canopy that will connect the new Avengers campus rides, Avengers Infinity Defense, and Stark Flight Lab. Work on the Canopy began in January as part of an expansion that will nearly double the size of the land at California Adventure. On Tuesday, February 10th, we saw a new section of Canopy being secured. It was still attached to the crane with straps. Though not yet complete, pieces of the Canopy now span the length of the show building. During our last construction update, the Canopy ended at the scaffolding covered in black scrim visible in the background. Also new is the vertical steel framework on the wall beyond that scaffolding. Crew members were working on a platform under the Canopy. Once the white frames are done being installed, roofing will be added, as seen in the concept art. There's more scaffolding covered in black scrim on the new restroom building between Avengers Campus and Cars Land. There was previously a walkway here, but it's closed due to the construction. There are also construction walls around the former Tower Terror Fast Pass distribution area outside of Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. We still don't know what they're doing in there. Hopefully we'll find out soon. Speaking of Avengers Campus, Disneyland Resort cast members had the opportunity to sign a steel beam that will soon be installed inside the expansion. This is a long-standing Disney Parks tradition. You may remember that cast members recently signed a beam for the new Encanto attraction at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Disneyland Resort President Thomas Maslam shared photos of himself and other cast signing the beam backstage. He wrote, "Cast members left their mark on the project that will double the size of the land and bring more adventures to life. But what stood out most was the excitement and pride everyone brought to something that represents our future. I can't wait for everyone to experience what's ahead." I do want to say we have been invited to the Disneyland Resort next week. We're going to meet with Thomas Maslam, and we're going to do, I think we're heading to Walt Disney Imagineering to see something cool. I believe it's related to this project. I don't know for sure. That's the word on the street. So I think we're going to get to see something exciting around this project, or at least something related to Disneyland Forward next week. I'm excited to find out more about this. What's got to be the most exciting time in a very long time at the Disneyland Resort. A new permit filed by Disneyland suggests that a cast member office building may be set for demolition. The permit was found by ex-user Theme Park IQ. A small office building for the Team Disney Anaheim, the administrative and operations arm of the Disneyland Resort, currently sits along the southern edge of the Manchester cast parking lot at Disneyland Resort. This particular building is referred to as offices for Team Disney Anaheim East, a satellite to the main Team Disney Anaheim office, which sits just north of Disneyland Park. That's, of course, that beautiful Frank Gehry building that I adore. You can see the location of the Team Disney Anaheim East building in the screenshot here. So the permit indicates that they're going to knock down this cast building next to the lot. This is roughly in the area of the new parking garage that's going to be built on this side of the resort as part of Disneyland Forward. So yeah, that's what's happening. It's starting to pick up steam. It's gathering steam. Here it goes. Disneyland Forward is happening. Construction of the 6,000 space parking garage is scheduled to begin in the fall of this year. The new parking garage is coming in time for those other expansions. Of course, we talked about Avengers Campus already. There's Avatar, Coco, and so much more coming. Disney Cruise Line has announced its summer 2027 itineraries for all ships, including a return to Alaska, continued Bahamian sailings, and more. As we previously shared, the Disney Wish will sail out of Europe for the first time next summer. The Disney Magic and the Disney Wonder will return to Alaska with sailings departing from Vancouver. Both ships will offer the 7-night sailings. The Disney Magic will also offer 6- and 8-night. The Disney Dream will return to Port Canaveral for 3- and 4-night itineraries to the Bahamas, including Disney Castaway Cay and Disney Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point. The Disney Fantasy will take 4-night and 5-night Bahamian and Caribbean sailings, plus the 10-night Southern Caribbean itinerary. The Disney Treasure will continue 7-night Eastern and Western Caribbean itineraries from Port Canaveral. The Disney Destiny will offer 3-, 4-, and 5-night itineraries from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas and the Caribbean. There will also be 7-night Eastern and Western Caribbean sailings. Some itineraries include both Castaway Cay and Lookout Cay. The Disney Adventure will continue sailing from Singapore for 3- and 4-night all-at-sea itineraries from January through August of 2027. Of course, that maiden voyage of that ship coming up March 10th. That's real soon. I'm leaving soon. Meanwhile, Marvel Day at Sea and Pixar Day at Sea return to select sailings beginning in January of 2027. Marvel Day at Sea will be available on Galveston sailings aboard the Disney Magic, and for the first time, it will also be available on 2 7-night itineraries in the Bahamas. Pixar Day at Sea will continue on the Disney Fantasy for select 5-night sailings from Port Canaveral as well. Here is when the booking will open for Castaway Club members, Disney Vacation Club members, Adventure Insiders, and the general public over the next few weeks for all of these cruises. Pearl members, Monday, February 16th is your date at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Platinum, you will be on February 17th at 8 a.m. Gold, you are on Wednesday, February 18th at 8 a.m. Silver, Thursday, February 19th at 8 a.m. Disney Vacation Club and Adventure Insiders, Thursday, February 19th at 8 a.m. General booking Monday, February 23rd at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. I just want to say I think it's an excellent choice to move the Wish. The Wish has run its course here. It's always discounted, whether it be regular discounts, cast discounts, whatever, it's always discounted. The itineraries, I think that people, the masses just don't love that ship. It's not, the venues don't speak to a lot of people. I think it was kind of a miscalculation. We knew that. That being said, I think putting a new ship and the first of the Wish class going to Europe is super cool, because really with those cruises, it doesn't often matter what the ship is. Those are the ones where it's really not about the ship and it's more about where you're going. for Europe and Alaska and those. And so having the Wish be the ship going to Europe, I think, is a fantastic choice. I think it's going to allow more people to see that ship that normally wouldn't book it. So it's a wise business decision in my book. Yeah. For the absolute latest on these stories and all that didn't make it into today's show, be sure to check WDWNT.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can support the entire team behind this show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, and more. Special shout out to our WIGS members who make this show happen every week. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying enjoy the rest of your today. Have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.